Now you see it, and the people here can see it. We are now live. It's JR. You're checking out the Sport Brief. Yeah. People are clapping in the building. We're here in Modell's for everybody on the internet. 234 West 42nd Street in New York City. So the people understand what's going on. Make some noise again, man. Right. And this is the first edition of the first ever live edition. I like Tony's good. You know what? When you sit in between two TV guys, things like this happen. I see a lot of friends. I see a lot of people coming in to check things out. But it's not about me a little bit right now.
It's all about you.
Oh, thank you. Tell them again.
It's all about you. It's your first in store. It's all about you and the fans.
Oh, thank you, Keith. Thank you, Keith. Now, Tony, tell them who you are, man. I know you cracked skulls. You did it for the Chiefs. You led like 8 guys to 1,000 yards rushing. Yep. You're here in New York City. Fill them in on yourself, man.
Well, you know, Tony Richardson, was fortunate enough to play in the NFL for a number of years. And like you said, I had a chance to work with some great guys, Adrian Peterson, Marcus Allen, LaDainian. I mean, I had great running backs behind me. So that's kind of how I made my living in the National Football League.
Who is Adrian Peterson? I've never heard of him in my life. I never heard of that guy. And you crack skulls. You're from the New York City area. Linebacker. I'm gonna say it. You know, you're gonna go into that Titans Hall of Fame there. You were just one of the best linebackers in the past 15 years. My main man, Keith. Let him know. Here, I'm gonna give you the mic for a second. Let him know, Keith.
Appreciate that. Keith Bulluck from Rockland County, New York. About 30 minutes away from where we are right now. Played 10 years for the Tennessee Titans, one for Big Blue. Any Giant fans in the building? Gotta be some Giant fans, okay. Done against Mr. Richardson many a times, and he was one hell of a football player, one hell of a fullback, sure.
Wait a second. So I know you spent a lot of your years with the Chiefs. Yeah. You spent a lot of years with the Titans. Was there ever a moment, and be honest here, that you two guys, I'm pretty sure, came like head to head?
Every time we played against each other, there was no escape. I mean, that's the thing about a fullback and a linebacker. I mean, there's no fair dodging. I mean, every single play, whether we're running in the pass route, he's gonna hit me, he's gonna push me down, or if I'm going to lead, I gotta try to lean on him a little bit. So that's we saw each other at least 30, 40 times a game when we're in there.
Did you hit this man?
It's our job.
No. Did you hit him?
Did I hit him? Yeah, he hit me too.
Yeah, that's part of it.
To be 100% honest, the only concussion that we don't know what a concussion is.
Yeah, we don't even know.
Gave him a concussion?
But, I blacked out. It was a forehead. Yeah, it was a forearm to the top of the head. But football is football. It's a tough
sport. Gave him a concussion for real?
That ain't funny though, man. We got all these lawsuits.
I came right back in the game. But yeah, that's what we do. And see, we're here, been friends for a long time. On the JRSportBrief from Modell.
I just never could be friends with somebody who just gave me a concussion. I mean,
that was 5 years ago. We ain't just do it.
Okay,
it didn't happen in Times Square.
If it happened in Times Square,
that'd be different.
If the concussion happened in Times Square, we probably have it on the internet already, and it'd be live just like we are here right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, what's going on currently with Tony? I know you've done TV and you've been around. You spent a lot of time in Kansas City, here in New York. What you up to?
Well, kind of just just like Keith. When we finished playing, I actually finished I got my MBA in finance when I was currently playing, and so now I'm working, doing a program, in financial services, and so just kind of put my MBA to work. So I'm in a training program right now, and so one day when you blow up, when this show blows up, you're making all those millions. I'm gonna be managing your money and selling you some insurances along the way.
I feel honored to be amongst such educated individuals who not only know how to speak and learn, but also know how to hurt people. Those are some of my favorite type of individuals. This is another guy with a master's. Tell him.
Well, yeah, I just completed my master's at George Washington University. Thank you, appreciate it. And from that, I've been, since I retired, I've been doing Titans preseason games. I won't be doing that this year. I do radio for Sirius XM. I have a radio show in Nashville, and just now I'm thinking we're about to launch this company, Transition. It's a sports and entertainment company that works with current and former athletes and helps them build their brand out and expand them on a greater platform.
I think that's cool. A lot of times we always hear about athletes, whether they're current, whether they're retired, about how bad they're doing. But I think you two guys deserve a hand just about all the great things that you're doing off the field as well, close to it. What are some keys? What are some things that current athletes need to be doing so they can better prepare themselves for the future?
Well, I think, one of the things is that, taking advantage of the off season. Like currently right now, guys have just finished their OTAs and mini camps and things of that nature. And they have time, really this time is really to get their body and their minds right going into training camp. But as soon as the football season's over, through the new CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, we pretty much pushed everything back. Right. So guys have time, go back and get your degree, or go back and do an internship, go back and just, get involved in the community, because the thing about it, I think that, Keith would attest to this, he's made his name, he's from New York, he's made his name in New York, and he rubbed elbows with some very important people while he was currently playing and still living in the city, and you just never know when you might need to reach back or have someone make a phone call for you and those kind of things. And so I just try to tell guys to learn how to network and, take advantage of some of the opportunities that are out there in front of them.
Now, we all know there are a lot of athletes out there who aren't necessarily following that advice. I'm not going to name no names, as a matter of fact, I will. There's guys like Johnny Manziel. He just got picked by the Cleveland Browns. You see him on TMZ. You see him in the dirt pages. And people go, is this a way, or is this the way that an NFL player should kind of conduct himself? What would you say about guys like that?
Well, I would say Johnny Manziel is doing what any 22-year-old would do if he just got $1 million, a few $1 million, a top draft pick, and going to the NFL. No one has given him an opportunity to prove himself out on the field. He's not even a starting quarterback at this moment. So I think the Cleveland Brown organization is doing him a service by letting him kind of learn on the fly and kind of be able to sit back and get used to being in the NFL. In this day and age with social media, no matter, you can cross the street and you might be on YouTube or something like that. So I think Cleveland's a great spot for him. Once the season starts, we can't report about him going to a bar every day. So I think he's rally around his teammates and he'll be all right.
Okay, now that's a rookie experience. How was your transition from Auburn into the NFL? Was it pretty smooth? I know you family was in the military. You weren't born here in the United States. How was that when it was time to become a pro?
Well, for me, it was, my path was a little different because I was an undrafted free agent, where you see a lot of guys like Johnny Manziel with first-round draft choice. I was undrafted, so my route was a little bit different from the standpoint that basically my entire rookie year was basically to be Emmitt Smith's do-boy, more or less. Right. But, it was one of those things I think that, for me, I had a chance to learn from one of the best. And him and Daryl Johnson really took me under their wing and taught me how to be a pro. And so my transition and, really just been in the right place at the right time. The guys had just come off back-to-back Super Bowls. And I really just watched Emmitt. I saw how he took care of his body on the field, off the field. I saw some of the things he was doing in the community. And so really I had a great example, for me to kind of show me the way. And that's what, the thing that, a lot of, and Keith was the same way as veterans on teams, try to grab the young guys and teach them the way. Because if not, they do drift, because, if you don't have leadership in place, then who are they going to become their own leaders, and they're going to get themselves into some stuff they don't need to be getting involved in.
I'm going to be honest right now. You're one of the few fullbacks that I knew, because you just paved the way for everybody. And in regards to you, I watched the TV and I said, I'm scared of this dude right here. This dude right here is scaring the living daylights out of me. How did you take care of, you were a captain, how did you kind of prep the locker room, especially young guys coming in?
Well, kind of like T-Rich, I learned from some great players. I got there was Bruce Matthews, who was an Hall of Famer. I came out to a team who just lost the Super Bowl by a yard, so their goal was to get back to the Super Bowl. Steve McNair, Eddie George, Blaine Bishop. There were a lot of guys that were in our locker room. We kind of come back from that old school football a little bit, where the locker room took care of itself. Whereas now, I'm not necessarily, well, now it's different because the guys are younger, but, there was a time, I'm sure you witnessed the 2 teams where you could see the locker room changing. These guys are younger. They don't want to listen to nobody. They think they got it made. They're making it rain. They're shooting up clubs. I've been a part of all that. It's just one of those things. You need solid veterans in the locker room to help these guys, and I think the NFL has gone away from that a little bit.
Do you think the NFL is doing the right thing with a lot of these changes? People are calling it the no-fun league. Is it to try to rein in some of the players, or are they right in trying to protect a lot of their business interests?
Well, I think it's, you got to have a happy medium. I think that some of the things, you can't let guys go out and just do their own thing. You kind of have to have, a set of rules, and guys have to follow them. But some of the things, and I know from this is on a different level, but some of the hits, like, I know there's no way I could have probably played linebacker or safety in the National Football League now, because you can't even touch quarterbacks, you can't even hit wide receivers, and so some of those things, even to the point where they're talking about, you can't hit guys high, you want them to hit them low now. Well, as a running back, I don't want you hitting my knees. So I'd much rather you hit me high, where I know I can defend myself versus you blowing out my knees. So those kind of things that you currently have to still fight through, but it's definitely a different game. And I know that and this man, as hard as he played, he would have accumulated a lot of fines. And it was just things that it's not anything illegal. It's just the fact of how they changed the rules. And we're from the old school. I mean, once you strap that helmet on, anything kind of goes. But now it's you got to playing powder puff football. So that's where a lot of changes you see now.
Powder puff football. Did you kind of notice yourself changing the way you played towards the end of your career?
Nah, I definitely didn't. At that point, how are you going to change? Really, I probably was, as they started doing that, I was on my way out anyway. So there was nothing to change. Just let it all, leave it out there.
You got your last licks in.
Yeah, absolutely. Like T-Rich said, man, once you strap it up, you go out there. And, even if there's some bad blood during the game, you see somebody on the off season, oh man, you remember what happened, you laugh it off, you do what you do. Pretty cool.
Cool. Now, I'm too small to play football. I wasn't playing no type of football. I read books, I went to school, I came home, and I called it a day. But I love basketball. We got to get to this because that's all anybody is talking about today. Is this guy right here. Hold on, Tony. You got it.
Yeah.
If you want to come to Modell's, you can come and get your LeBron James jersey authentic for 20% off. There we go. Rock and roll. It's 20% this way. Here, Tony that way. 20%. Come get it. Modell. That's for everybody in the store too. Like him right there. He likes the Miami Heat. He's off camera. He likes the Heat. We're gonna try to get him one of these.
I might buy it for him. Hey, bro, I might buy it for you.
We got a lot of Heat jerseys now. I know you played basketball coming up, right, in high school?
Oh, yeah, high school.
And then you played as well.
Yeah, I did.
You're nothing but arms and legs. It's amazing that you just went out there and hit people. I'm not surprised. What do you think about this gentleman, LeBron James, going back to Cleveland?
Well, I think, and I was telling a friend of mine earlier today that it says a lot about him as a man, because I think when he left, and you're talking about fans burning jerseys, and you got the owner putting up a website, or putting up a letter on the website and calling the man a coward and work and kind of talking about his work ethic. It takes a strong man to be able to look that crowd and that city back in the face and say, I'm gonna put all that behind me. I'm gonna basically humble myself and go back in there. So it really says a lot about him really trying to change something and bring a championship to Cleveland. It says a lot about him, and you really, all the things that people had to say negative, I mean, what can you say now? So that's I think it'll take your hat off to him.
Did you think he was going to go back in this point in time? If I had to ask you yesterday where he was going, what would you say?
I wouldn't necessarily. Cleveland. Cleveland. Because if you look at it, everyone opted out. They've been, going, having meetings, having secret meetings, and it didn't seem like anyone wanted to stay in Miami. They gave it their best shot last year. I mean, this past June, you saw what happened against a supposedly old Spurs team, an older Spurs team. So, if I'm LeBron and Cleveland's an option, they got one of the best point guards in the league to me, and Kyrie Irving. They just got the #1 pick, Verjav's there. They have a lot of pieces there that they can still, build upon. And, like T-Rich said, it's a boss move to me. He's from Akron, and that's where they first named him and crowned him the king. So might as well go sit on your throne, LeBron.
Oh, damn, that's like a commercial. And go sit on your throne.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I need to get copyright for that.
Yeah.
I need to get copyright.
We're going to hook it up. It's on the internet. It's going to live forever now.
Nice. Remember, I said it first.
The money guy. We hear a lot nowadays about athletes having to go and take less money.
Yeah.
You also work with the NFLPA. What do you think about the contracts that a lot of athletes are getting nowadays? Do you think it's appropriate for them to take less money while the value of franchises continues to climb? Or what do you think about that?
No, I don't think an athlete really should never have to take less money. I think these guys took less money because they were trying to build a championship team. But I feel like, every athlete deserves every dollar that he receives, because a lot of things, a lot of times the fans don't really see the things we go through, during the season, off season, ice tub, everything it's not cry me a river, but there's a lot of work that goes into the product that goes on the field, on Sundays or throughout the week. And so every athlete, every dollar that an athlete can receive, he needs to get, because one thing about different from, this sport, basketball, you see when they sign a $120 million guarantee, he's gonna get all $120
Right.
and some. In our sport, yeah, we might sign a big contract, but then all of a sudden, a year or two later, they want to get rid of us or ask us to take a pay cut. And so that's, so every athlete, especially in our sport, if you can get it, you need to get it because it's not gonna last forever.
I can dig it. And we're gonna take this last question, and we're just gonna go live here in Modell's. How do you feel as an athlete about some of the criticism that athletes take about their salaries?
I really don't feel anything. Honestly, that's what the league decided to pay athletes, so that's what the paying scale is. That's what the rate is. If you're work at IBM or Apple, you get paid just as much. I'm sure based upon what other companies pay people at their position. So for what we do, our job description, we're getting paid how we're supposed to get paid. That's all I really have to say to that.
I can dig it. I'm happy to be sitting here with a money guy and a businessman right here. These guys are classic. Do me one last favor. We're going to finish here on the Hangout live, but now we're going to give away some stuff here in Modell's. We're going to give away some gift cards. We're going to make sure people go shopping. People in here clapping. Relax a little bit. This is not all the money and the gifts are not going to you. She's ready. She wants some stuff.
She got a Nike shirt over there.
Yeah, she got a Nike shirt. She wants the Nike shirt. Yeah, she came for a Nike shirt. But if you're online, you better go to Modells.com. You better go to the shop. You need to follow JR on Twitter. You need to follow Modell's on Twitter. Follow T Rich. Follow K Bull. It's JR Sport Brief. It's Fan Friday. It's all about you. And when you go to the shop, make sure you get one of these. It's 20. Oh, wait. Now it's $20. We'll talk to y'all. Come back. Go to Modells.com. We're going to hang out right here in the store. If you're in the area, come on by. We're going to give some stuff away. Maybe not this. Yeah, all right.